Hello, we're about to start a series of thoughts from each verse from each of the Psalms. We're going to go through all the way 150 Psalms, and if I've got the energy, maybe even go through the Proverbs. But we need to do an introductory to the Psalms, and this is the introductory. Many of your Bible and your study Bibles will make it quite easy for you to realize there are different Psalms for different occasions. And I'm not going to overemphasize that because I know they are readily available in study books and other books. And nearly every book you pick on the Psalms. There is something that I think by and large most of the writers on the Psalms, and definitely all the writers that I've read on the Psalms, have missed. And that is that the Psalms were written at the same time and over the same period of what we call failed leadership. This is in the book of course, of Exodus and the books of Moses, how they went round and round and round in the wilderness, how the problems they had with their obedience to the things of God and trusting God. And then when you come to Joshua, they're supposed to conquer the land, but they messed that up. Oh, they had good points. And Joshua was a good man like Moses. But as far as the people was concerned and the leaders were concerned, it wasn't a clean sweep. And when you come to Judges, you realize the full force that's taken place. And you come to your Samuels, Eli and his two sons, and even Samuel, his two sons, wasn't any good for leadership. And when you come to the kings, a good start with Solomon, but not Solomon, Saul, but Saul and David and Solomon, all of them failed. Especially David in the latter part of his life. 3 of his own sons were killed before him. It wasn't a happy time, and he committed adultery and he committed premeditated murder. And when you look at all the kings of the north, what a wretch they were, and most of the kings of the south as well. And when you look at priesthood, what were they doing? Where were their function? They had been spread throughout the 12 tribes. They had cities of refuge as well, and they had various cities they could go to. And we read of the covenant that was made with them in the 2nd chapter of Malachi, and you see failure again. And then when you come to your Jeremiahs and you come to Ezekiel and you look at both the priesthood and the prophets, and you have one word: failure. And if you look at the Old Testament to the Ezra and Nehemiah and Esther, you can see what we're talking about. Leadership. And it was very simple. The leadership didn't know how to put their trust in God. 90% of the time it was down to one thing only. They wouldn't accept the lordship of God, the Yahweh of God. They wouldn't accept it, the personal God that had come into them as a nation, the covenants that he had made, the promises that he'd given. And they constantly turned their back on it. But there is over 1,000 years these Psalms being written. Yes, over 1,000 years. Most of them, we don't know who wrote them. Even those that ended up in the David collection or the Hezekiah collection or any collection, we don't know who wrote them. Oh, we believe that some of them was written by David, and also some of them seem to link in with events in David's life. But by and large, these are ordinary people who have put their voice to words and expressed them in the poetry and rhythm and song that is the book of Psalms. And because it's ordinary people rising to extraordinary occasions, you and I can enter into them. You see, if there had been the songs of the king only, or the songs of the royalty only, or the songs of the priesthood only, you and I would find it difficult to accept them. We want the songs of the people. We want the songs of the ordinary person. The people who wrote these kind of songs are also mentioned in the book of Malachi in type. that they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord remembered, and a record was made. Well, we have a record here called the Psalms. So as we go through the Psalms, take on board it's from an ordinary man speaking, I hope, to ordinary people, no matter what part of society you live in, talking from ordinary Psalms written by ordinary people. Boy in his Bible here. We'll be on number 1 soon. Bye for now.